Shola Okbaleye, a passionate, experienced sports manager, astute entrepreneur, certified project management expert, and industry captain, is the founder and Group Chief Executive Officer of City Sports Group Limited, one of the fastest growing diversified group of companies in Nigeria, and indeed one of the most distinguished CEOs to look up to in 2024.
I've been in sports in many different ways before now, long before now, since I was a child even. My dad, we came from a family of 6 children. My dad, those days, when I was 8 years old, 7 years old, each time he traveled, he would get gifts for all of us, right? But the gifts he would get for me were sports related, maybe a football or maybe a t-shirt with a footballer on it or something that had to do with football. I was the only one he would get sports gift for. It didn't mean much to me at the time. I didn't even remember until later on, maybe in my 20s, maybe early 20s, when I started going into sports. I now remember, it now occurred to me that, look, this guy must have seen something in me at the time, and that's the passion and that's the desire for wanting to be in the area of sports, right? So even in school, university and all of that, I was always amongst those that would organize sports tournaments, sports competitions, sports games, anything that had to do with sports, just so that people are engaged, people are happy, and people are generally just enjoying themselves. So that was how I started. I also went ahead then to start off a football club, in fact 2 football clubs. Our first was called Kings United. It was a community club where boys would come together every Saturday. All these boys were probably in their own academies or something, I didn't even know, but it didn't even matter as well. But we would just gather them every Saturday, get good jerseys, play matches, play friendly matches with other clubs and all that. We did that in Lagos, did that outside Lagos, in Ibadan, Osun, Akure, and all of those things, But it then went one notch up when that became a big program. It started getting bigger. Then with my church then, City of David, we started Redeemed Christian Church of God, City of David. We started what we call the COD United Football Club. This was the football club that was owned by the church, generally to evangelize, basically, right? And that project went for about 10 years. That project was a project where the objective was simple: to use sports as a tool to bring people to Christ, basically, right? And I think we did that well. We were in the league. We started in the last level of the league, which was at the time Amateur 3. So we went from Amateur 3 to Amateur 2 to Amateur 1, and then we went to NNL. So we did eventually get to the Premier League. We stopped at NNL before the strategy from the church changed. But all throughout those 10 years, there was so much that went on with that project. And then all of this, I was gainfully employed as well. After that project ended, I started what then was the City of Lagos Football Club. And because we had operations outside of Lagos as well, right? So at the same time, we were starting the City FC Abuja football program, City FC Kano, City FC Ibadan, and all of that. So we had all those 5-6 projects going on at the same time, gathering boys and girls from the communities to develop them, sometimes find them jobs, sometimes train them to be coaches. So it was strictly a community program at the time. But again, the project and everything started growing much bigger. You then had students, young as children now, 4 years old, 5 years old, who wanted to develop in sports. Some of them had never played those sports before, but they wanted to develop. So we then had to start a program where we would develop students, and that's where City Sports came along. City Sports today, our objective is that we provide sports development services to children, not just in football. There's tennis, there's athletics, there's basketball, and there's swimming as well. And we do that across many centers. In Lagos, we have 9 centers. We have 1 center in Kano, and then we have another center in Abuja. The plan is to go as big as possible to reach out to as many students as possible. We set out to find ways to develop young people in sports, right? So our objective is to become, or if you like, our vision is to become the #1 in Africa in providing sports development services.